Want to take a look around in the Sugaridoo Studio? Well, today is your lucky day because I'm showing you around. Hi there, and welcome to a new video on the Sugaridoo channel. My name is Irene and this is the Sugaridoo Studio. Normally you'll only see a small part of it when I'm filming my quilting videos. But today I thought it would be fun to give you a tour around the studio because there's so much more fun things to see. So let's go! So here we are in the Sugaridoo Studio. This is a place where I work every day, well 3 days or 4 days a week, and where I do all my designing of quilting patterns, crochet patterns once in a while, and where I make all my YouTube videos. Right when you enter the studio, you will see this lovely rack of balls of yarn. It's a rack made by my father-in-law, and it contains all the mini balls of yarn and colors. And yarn and colors is the cotton and yarn that I use for all my amigurumi. And such a display like this really helps when I want to design something, to pick out colors and match them and to easily see what goes nicely together. And besides that, they're just super cute and tiny, right? On the craft fairs I also bring this with me, and then you can pick a box and fill it with your 20 favorite colors. Which is very fun to see because people really light up when they do that, because it's like picking your favorite candies from the candy shop. Then here I have a box with Filda cotton. That was the brand that I used before Yarn and Colors. But it's a kind of a leftover box, so I use it every once in a while. It's also super soft cotton yarn. It's lovely to work with, but since I switched to those colors, that's what I'm sticking with. There we have a pillow from my Once Upon a Pixel book that I wrote with Studio Cook. And then we are already at my quilting corner. So this is of course the corner that you see most often in my videos. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. So here we have some batting. I just got a really nice big roll of warm white batting in, and it's much whiter than the one that I used to use. So I'm really excited to start using that. Here I have a box of scraps, but when you're watching this, I've already finished the project with these scraps, so you already know probably what I made with them. Then next to that is my round robin quilt. This is the quilt that all the members of my quilt bee made for me from my starter block. So this little block over here was my starter block, and then everybody added something to it, and it's lying here because I want to quilt it. So it's just lying here lined up to be quilted. So what else do we have here? I have these crates with all fat quarters, and those are pre-cut for when I do a craft fair. Then I have them on display so people can pick out fat quarters. But also in here it's really handy to have all those colors as inspiration and to pick fabrics, and it's just really happy, right? So then I also have some needle minders that I once made, and my quilting tools, some kits with all the fabrics to make a paper piecing project, which I also take with me to craft fairs, and they are also available on my webshop. So then here we have all my quilting fabric, and it's growing and growing. So the collection is getting bigger and bigger, and I have those fabrics for use in projects for quilt design, and for selling on craft fairs and in my web shop. And I also just got all the fabrics for the quilt along in. So if you're a frequent watcher, and you can spot the bigger bolts. Those are the ones that just got in for the quilt along at the end of this year. And the quilt along I am doing with Bernina. So what we have here is my new sewing machine. I'm loving it so much. I'm having more and more time to work on it, and it's such a joy to work with. So yeah, I have that here set up, and when I'm doing paper piecing, I will also have a cutting board next to the sewing machine. And here I have a pressing board, which can really need a new cover, by the way. Are your ironing boards also getting dirty over time, or is it just me? So, and then on my table I also have fabrics of a project that I'm working on, and a really nice new green cutting mat. Okay, let's move on along this wall. Here are some fabrics that I got from Sassafras. Sassafras Lane, that's the new fabric line from Sassafras. And here I also have some fabrics from fabric kits. So this, for example, is the kit for the tree house quilt, which is this one. Can I show you? Which is this one. I still have a few of those kits left. So if you're looking for a really fun and quite easy to do foundation paper piecing project, check out that pattern or quilt kit. And then here a wall with some supplies. Okay, moving on. Now we're getting to the crochet and amigurumi department. And what better way to start with that than to start with this little friend. This is Mike the monkey, and Mike was my very first amigurumi pattern, so it's quite a special one for me. And this one was crocheted with a pretty thick yarn, so he turns out very big. But here he is with just normal cotton yarn, crocheted with a 2.5mm hook. So then he's turning out this size. And babies really love him because he has those long arms and you can grab them really easily. So yeah, this is a perfect one as a baby gift. And Mike the monkey is also still the most popular pattern in my shop. So here we have crochet kits. So I make, for my patterns, I make little booklets. So booklets like this, and I have them only in Dutch because I make them for craft fairs. But all of the crochet patterns are available in English as well. All my patterns include pictures and instructions, so it's very clear how you should make the more complicated parts. And all this information is the same in my PDF patterns. So combining those booklets with some yarn and you will have a crochet kit. Oh, and also the eyes are included. So with all the Sugaridoo crochet kits, you will have the yarn, the booklet, and the eyes. And you only have to add stuffing and a crochet hook. So here we have some Sugaridoo amigurumi on display. And also the banner that I made with the new Sugaridoo font design. This is all paper piecing letters with rounded edges, and I really like how it turned out. Okay, moving on. So here we have crochet yarn. This is also all yarn and colors. This is a normal one, and this is a thicker one. And I still have this in stock. But my supply of yarn is getting smaller and smaller because I'm moving more towards quilting, so I'm only going to keep the colors of yarn in stock that I'm actually using for my crochet kits. I guess you have to make choices once in a while when you're running a business, and at the moment that's going towards quilting. So to make some space in the studio, I'm selling all of my yarn. And over here we have some fluffy yarn. And my very first sewing machine. This is the first sewing machine that I owned, and it has a nice place in the studio. And then what we have here is all my quilts. So the bigger quilts and smaller quilts, some that I made, some mini quilts, some mini quilts that I received in quilt swaps, and also what I received here. This is not what I made. This is a lovely little postcard from a postcard swap which we did with the Modern Quilt Guild, made by Ingrid. And my mom made a fishy for me. Look how cool that is. And this awesome bag is made by Francis, also for a Dutch Modern Quilt Guild swap. I love this bag, and she even made her personalized fabric. Do you see that with the crosses? And it has my name on there. I think it's so special when someone makes something for you, so having that just there on display, it puts a smile on my face when I see it, so that's really nice. And some of these are also from a mini quilt swap, and I do want to put them somewhere. So I'm thinking that I should redo this wall over here. Maybe I can put a lot of those mini quilts on display over there. But anyway, that's a project for later maybe. And then here we have some more storage. So behind here I have my own fabric collection, which I showed you in my video about organizing your fabrics, and some mini quilts, and my books, and a super cool big Polly the chicken that my mom made, which I still need to finish by sewing on his feet. And there my sock projects. And then we come to this corner in the studio, which is just some storage room. It has some knit fabric for sewing baby clothes, some personal stash of yarn, packing supplies, and a lot of boxes also for packing all my orders. And then this little corner over here. So I think this spot behind my computer is the place where I spend most of my time. Here I do design of my patterns, so I work on Illustrator and InDesign a lot to design quilting patterns and crochet patterns, and also in Electric Quilt 8. That's also a program that I use a lot, and of course where I edit all my YouTube videos. And then the final spot in the studio is my design wall and studio lamps, which I really need because in the Netherlands it gets dark very early in winter. So in the summer I do have good lighting in the studio, but in the winter I definitely need them. But behind that is my design board, and it's just a piece of batting put over some, what is it called, styrofoam, which is used for insulating. So just put a piece of batting over that and you have an awesome design board. And I use that a lot. So when I'm making blocks, like these scrappy blocks at the moment, which you already saw in last week's video, when I'm working on projects, I always put everything that I make on my design board, which makes it so easy to get an overview and not have to put everything on the floor. I'm very happy with having such a big design board in the studio. And that brings us back to the door in the studio. Oh yeah, I have some plants over here, but I'm not such a good plant lady. So that's everything in my studio, I guess. If you have any questions about me working here, or if you want to see more, or if you would like to see me do a show and tell about all the quilts that are over there, just leave it down in the comments below, and who knows, I can make a new video about that. If there were any products that you saw which you would like to order, just let me know in the comments below, then I can direct you to that, or follow the link to my shop in the screen, somewhere in the screen. Thank you so much for watching. I see you next week. Bye!